Good morning and welcome to Abona at the 103.5 FM. Today, the 6th day of November 2023. Today is Monday and the time is 2 minutes past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Abona at the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that a complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news. You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. This morning, we're going to take you the news making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership newspaper, Vanguard, Punch, Sun, Daily Post, The Nation, This Day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the link of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Niger Delta leaders visit Wike, urge amicable resolution of Rivers crisis. Fubara thanks Tinubu for intervening in Rivers crisis politics. Governor Bello releases 497 million naira for payment of 2023 WAEC exam fees. Sanwo-Olu earns 50% slash in transport fare of state-owned transport system. Air Force rejigs personnel fitness, treks 10 kilometers in Abuja. Confirmation as Inspector General of Police, Industrial Security Boss Ibadan identifies the tax before Ebotokun. Military arrest 2 suspected gun manufacturers, recover weapons in Plateau. 4 Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps officers feared killed in Rivers. Christian pilgrimage thrives in spite of challenges, NCPC boss. Lagos International Trade Fair, Tinubu pledges support to unlock MSME potentials. Can Cole wins Africa's next supermodel as Okoro Dudu set Nairobi agog with show. At Impact Awards ceremony, Rogers decries a rising poverty in Nigeria. Achieving sustainable food systems in global crisis paramount. Sahel Consulting. Masters Energy to boost job creation with $500 million gas project. Ikeja Electric marks 10 years of operations, list achievements. Adelabu, crash landing in Ibadan Airport raises fresh concern on illegal charter operators. Federal government unveils CNG conversion center in Kaduna. Federal government unveils CNG conversion center in Kaduna. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency seizes 13 billion naira illicit drugs in Lagos raids. Work resumes on third mainland bridge today. Motorists urged to cooperate. Stable policy will attract investment in energy sector. Nigeria Labour Congress alleges assassination attempt on Ajaero, indicts Commissioner of Police. Investment. Tinubu eyes Arab nations, attends two summits. Socio-economic rights and accountability project sues Tinubu over alleged missing $15 billion, 200 billion naira oil funds. Falana urges ex-governors to emulate Daniel Dankwambo on live perks. Police foil kidnap attempt in Castana. Ogun inspects table, Sergeant water factories over cholera spread. 56 African scholars get postgraduate overseas scholarship. Bauchi governor flags off 10.3 billion naira road construction. Bauchi governor flags off 10.3 billion naira road construction. FCT residents decry epileptic power supply, berates AEDC. Nigerian Air Force airstrikes thwart terrorist regrouping. People with disabilities call for enforcement of disability laws. APC leaders disown new Akwa Ibom wreck. Civil society organization falls Supreme Court verdict on electronic voting. NAPS threatens showdown over poly, varsity graduates disparity. Abia cattle traders insist on residing inside market. Lagos vows more action on filthy markets, seals Oba City Mall, Ajaero facility. Lagos hosts second African Urban Mobility Assembly. Medical doctor escapes from abductors in Enugu. Odua company gets Agosto's A rating. Tertiary Education Trust Fund commissions 873 million naira projects in Bauchi Varsity, Poly. Oshun Monarch returns to teaching to address shortage. Police arrest kidnap kingpin, gang members in Calabar. Police arrest kidnap kingpin, gang members in Calabar. Delta to expel students for threatening teachers. Don advocates inclusion of women in marine blue economy. Akpoti Udwana decries denial of access to Ohinoi's palace, lost monarch's love. Oniigbo makes list of 30 global leaders on climate change. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency seizes 14.4 million pills of opioids, worth 13 billion naira seized in Lagos raids. Okereke bags fellow of World Academy of Sciences. Progressive youths won NMPP against intimidation of appeal court justices on Kanu Guba seat. Human Rights Writers Association raises concerns over judicial integrity in Plateau. Nigeria Center for Disease Control achieves significant milestones as it turns 5, says DG. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrests 3 visually impaired members of drug syndicate. Attack on NLC president violates his human rights. NASU. Lightning kills 3 students in Anambra. Nigerian Air Force airstrikes kill several terrorists in Northeast, Northwest. National Assembly targets heads of ministries, departments, agencies for training on legislative compliance, violation of resolution. ECO Electricity Distribution Company apologizes to customers in Lagos, Ogun over outrage. Adamawa to vaccinate 388,180 girls against HPV. Police in Cross River arrest kidnapped suspect while hiding in girlfriend's ceiling. Transportation Minister hails Thursday's Lagos-Ibadan median freight train service. Appeal Court declares venue of Imo PDP primaries valid. Yakubu charges INEC SAP on integrity ahead of November 11 Guba poll. Police rescue ex-INEC worker from kidnappers. North Korea creates new holiday to mark ICBM test launch. Niger Delta Development Commission Senate Committee vows to ensure IOCs pay contributions. Abuja Central Lions plan 20 million naira medical laboratory eye care hospital. Others in FCT communities. NDIC settles over 120.5 billion naira liquidity claims to depositors, shareholders. And NDIC settles over 120.5 billion naira liquidity claims to depositors, shareholders. Court restrains Kanu government from taking action against private schools, linking Umbugadu to outlawed Ombase, unjust, baseless. Mother, youths say. Birth registration, over 43% Nigerian children invisible, says UNICEF. Flood, Lagos sensitizes students on urban personal resilience. Rivers crisis, Fubara apologizes to Rivers people, loves Tinubu's intervention. Of Sako governorship polls, Center advises INEC to beware of past mistakes. Support Tinubu to lift Nigerians out of poverty. Commission urges state governors. Court fixes hearing on Kanu governorship appeal as group cautions INEC over uncertified ballots. Zulum, complete 1,000 housing units, resettles internally displaced persons by December. Mubad, charge Naira Marley or free him now. Human Rights Writers Association tells police. Ndume explains speedy passage of 2.17 trillion naira extra budget. NSIB commences investigation as aircraft crash lands in Ibadan. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. And from the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. Dangote repatriates $687,977 from Pan-African operations. Drug war, 42 barons, 32,000 others arrested in 34 months. Contradictory judgments in play to worry stakeholders. Climate change poses grave risk to Nigeria. Agora policy. Rumble over House Appropriation Committee membership. 20 bodies recovered in Taraba boat mishap. Naira regains ground to 970 per dollar at parallel market. Appeal Court hears Kanu governorship case today. Tinubu pushes for new investments from Arab nations. 90 media leaders attend Bloomberg African Business Media Innovators Forum 2023. Nottingham Forest beats Aston Villa to end winless run. Cross Rivers Sports Ministry takes aggressive talent hunt to rural communities. 2024 Guba, I will turn around Edo's poor leadership, backwardness, Eromosele. I'm holding NMPCL accountable on completion dates for refineries rehabilitation. Lopobiri. Tinubu to attend the Saudi Arab Africa Summit in Saudi Arabia. NOA to unveil national value charter for Nigerians soon. Issa Onilu. Para Speaker pledges legislative backing for culture, tourism. Rep seat. Appeal Court declares a venue of Imo PDP primaries valid. Affirms Emeka Chinedu's election. Palm oil marketers clash in Abia. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrests 3 blind drug syndicate members operating in Lagos, Kanu. Tips on how to keep your brain healthy. Making money in solid waste management. Man bags 14 years for raping teenager. Court evicts Delta Institute from permanent site. Imoguba, Labour Party alleges plot to conduct election in 0 polling units. Sultan, Emir of Ilorin, others pray for Nigeria at Osman Danfodio lecture. MPC pays advocacy visit to Fulani group in Abuja. Abuja International Film Festival honors stakeholders with special awards. PSI flails assault on NLC president. Bauchi government gets solar-powered phones from USAID. Zulum opens vocational institution in Mafa. Access Bank donates equipment to Bauchi Health Center. The Imperial unveils 400 million naira scholarship for 250 students in Southeast. Digital Detox. Elijah bags 2023 Entrepreneur of the Year award at Global Impact. Foundation donates bicycles, parking space to Abuja school. Protest for sack of Matawale politically motivated, says Shinkafi. 15 science-based health benefits of drinking enough water. Tinubu sets the bar high for progress. Governor Eno approves 450 million naira counterpart funding for women project. UNICEF, Jigawa government approves 500 million naira to fight child malnutrition. Government kidnap local government chairman's wives in Jigawa. OPSH arrests illegal arms manufacturers in Boom. Fish affirms Nigeria's rating, says outlook stable on reforms. How absence of landing equipment at Ibadan airport crashes minister's aircraft. Federal government approved 211 loan apps in October. UBA restates commitment to financing small medium enterprises across Africa. Pensioners beg Tinubu for payment of pension arrears. Still on the stories making the headlines on the leadership newspaper this morning. Atlantic exhibition targets 100 businesses at Expo. Transcorp Hilton wins 3 awards to seal reputation in hospitality industry. Affects partners Marble Capital. List Halal Commodities Fund. Kiyamo to tackle illegal charges on export cargoes at Lagos airports. Sanwo-Olu signs Executive Order 3 to inaugurate Financial Center Council. Unity Bank grows gross earnings to 38 billion naira in Q3. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. And from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. CBN Governor Cardoso vows to fight inflation. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency busts drug cartel. Seizes 14.4 million pills of opioids in Lagos raids. Bloody weekend in Benue. 22 killed in rival gang war. Alleged bias. Inspector General of Police to redeploy Imo Commissioner of Police. Why Nigerians should kiss free, fair, and credible elections goodbye. Ngodo. The Life, Loves, and Adventures of Obiefuna, Benjamin Mwabeze, by Shade Odinkalo. Abuja hotels tightens security amid U.S. Embassy's security alert. Forest gains. Banks profits balloon. Forest gains. Banks profits balloon by 156% to 2.3 trillion naira. Economy. More Nigerians sell off cars to feed family. Stock market, investors gain 1.7 trillion naira in 5 days. Timeless memories art exhibition holds. Timeless memories art exhibition holds. Social responsibility and sustainable development. Entries for Ken Saro-Wiwa Prize for Book Review 2023 opens. Igbo's artwork spark conversations about life. Death penalty. ASF empowers 15 capital defense lawyers. At 60, Obafemi Awolowo University Pharmacy alumni pledges to support faculty with grants. Others, over 200,000 police officers for mental health education foundation. 23% of Nigerian women suffer from breast cancer. Experts protest against Minister of State for Defense misguided. Shinkafi. Lightning kills 3, injures 6 footballers in Anambra. 5 days to Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi governorship poll. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And from the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to Punch newspaper. Police, Imo Labour Party candidate disagree over church face-off. 15 bandits killed in Benue supremacy battle. Niger, Benue, Kanu marketers hike fuel. Blame transport costs. Don't limit appointments to NMPP members. IPAC urges Kanu governor. Commanders, others killed as military bombards terrorists. Nigeria fails global money laundering review at FATF plenary. Tinubu, Atiku, Obi should unite for Nigeria's progress. Oba Akiolu. Both tragedy. Taraba recovers 20 bodies, bans night travel. Details of 70 recovered corpses with police. Abia government. Vote 15% of budget to health. Doctors urge Tinubu. Kanu Islamic scholar Yusuf Ali dies at 73. Troops kill bandits, foil Zamfara attack. Oyimbo. Overpass will ease third mainland bridge traffic. Sanwo-Olu. Niger Delta Development Commission urges unity for Niger Delta development. Collecting pension unlawful. Falana tells Akpabio. Others. Israel gives condition for ceasefire. Deaths hit 11,000. Ladoka Akintola University of Technology students sue Makinde for relocating Agric faculty. Inspector General redeploys Imo Commissioner of Police to FHQ. Federal government unveils Kaduna CNG Conversion Center. Ogun meets table water producers over cholera outbreak. HPV. Adamawa to vaccinate 388, 180 girls. Fulani community endorses Ododo for Kogi governor. Dangote equips Lagos schools with solar power. Others. Court remands 2 for shooting customs officer. Retired wanderers condemn contributory pension, demand withdrawal. Diri ends a re-election campaign, promises more projects. Governor urges workers to prevent fire outbreaks in offices. Don urges societal support for mental illness patients. University of Lagos State alumni celebrate pharmacist. Akwa Ibom wreck, not APC member, chieftain. Tinubu needs support. Prayers to fix Nigeria. Jubilation after Supreme Court verdict shows Nigerians love Tinubu. Oni. Jubilation after Supreme Court verdict shows Nigerians love Tinubu. Oni. That's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. And from the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Ajaba defeats Australia Godal as Aif Efemoni performs at World Boxing Council's fight in US. No going back on enactment of whistleblowers law. Federal government issues monarchs restate support for Governor Mba. Hail flag up of dual carriageway. Federal government indirectly responsible for sit at home in Southeast. Anglican bishop. Stop parading yourself as our president. National Union of Road Transport Workers tells Barua. Agora policy. Climate change poses grave risk to Nigeria. Deserves greater attention. Federal government to unveil equipment leasing registration authority Tuesday. Kogi poll. Wife of Action Alliance candidate Adetutu urges women to troop out to vote. Why we set up SPPG. Obi Ozekwesili. Federal government, we've taken this. Edo internally displaced persons, inmates shine, emerge best graduating students of Edo Varsity. Rivers crisis, INC rallies support for Fubara. Tinubu takes Nigeria's investment drive to Arab nations. Extends appointment to members of other parties. IPAC begs Kanu governor. Rex appointments, Labour Party threatens legal action against APC. Bauchi, Muhammad flags off dualization of 10.3 billion naira GSS Ningi Township Road. Akwa Ibom, APC disowns new INEC rec Umoren. NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission MD, restates development vision for Niger Delta, bags chieftaincy title. Is multi-choice latest prize review avoidable? High expectations as ASO Cultural Festival 2023 holds today in style. Reps seat. Appeal Court declares venue of Imo PDP primaries valid. Affirms Emeka Chinedu's election. The Del Boroughs standard. Quality. Attention to details unparalleled. The Del Borough standard. Quality. Attention to details unparalleled. Ahimbare. Senator Natasha pays condolence visit to family of late Ohinoi. You have compromised federal government labor agreement. National Union of Road Transport Workers president accuses labor minister Lalong. Reps seat. Abwese wins in appeal court. Benue government cautions Mbasumbo communities against plan to renew crisis. Senator Smart Adeyemi wants passage of Ohinoi. Wema Bank awarded best in promoting culture of innovation. Kebi, core members urges to restrain from bad usage of social media. Reps seat. Oga wins at appeal court. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation collaborates with Ogun Governor to strengthen National Social Register. Healing streams. Fetes of Wonders continues as at Festival of Miracles. Best Brain Contest joins forces with the Imperial Philanthropic Family for 400 million naira scholarship initiative. Aruba Capital Management wins 2023 Impact Investor Award. That's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. You are tuned to Abona, the 103.5 FM, and this is Newspaper Headlines. We'll now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines on the Daily Post newspaper. Please stay with us.
Officer Makomatsuki, is in Lagos, is Abuja, is Anambra, Kedu hotel mmadụ ga anọ dị n'ime eze?
Nwanne ka efe na-adọka sekwanụ ka introduce oge to the Nigerian hotel chain, Residency Hotels. It's touched down in Lagos. ị ga-achụfa na Lagos International Airport Road or ị bịa na Lekki Phase 1 or ị chụọfa na Lekki Osapa London Lagos. Ịtụọ down na Abuja nwanne residency nọ na area 11 Garki, ọ nọkwa na Guzape na ọkwa na Utako Abuja. Ịbanye Owerri onye m chụọfa na Port Harcourt Road Owerri. Onwezi ka isi banye na Anambra chai nwanne na-edo m ozugbo na nwanne ịchụbịa na Ogidi na Anambra State. Ibugharịtazi abata na Enugu State 7/8 Northern Street, Independence Layout. You enjoy the luxurious furnished rooms and suites. Restaurants are okay. They have two sides here and there, and outside door bar where you are entertained with drinks brewed in different parts of the world. You can also book and pay online at tiptopgo.com or www.myresidencyhotel.com.
One open hotel, Residency Hotel, all the way.
Ogidi ekene munu afa mbụ nwada Miracle Olube Okeke abụmada Ogidi 2022/2023. Ana m ekene Igwe Alex Ụzọ Onido on the occasion of his Ofala Festival wee na-asị long live Ogidi Kingdom, long live Igwe Eze Shwomaya, long live Adogidi Beauty Pageant. Daalụ.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebonade 103.5 FM with Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu Ikisi every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebonade 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a bet.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the link of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to the Daily Post newspaper. Imoguba, Labour Party candidate Ajaero escapes death as thugs allegedly open fire on his convoy. Governor Oti explains why he is running Abia from home. Politicians approach court for power, not justice. Adebayo, ex-presidential candidate, be vigilant. NYSC once core members in Yobe. Group sues customs over restriction of petroleum products in Ogun communities. Bauchi, governor flags off 10.3 billion naira dualization of Ningi Guduba Road. Oti commissions 3 more roads in Aba. Lagos government seals Oba City Mall, Aja Market. Director General identifies challenges facing NYSC program. Adamawa, Nigerian Union of Journalists loses journalist Villian Murray. Alleged abuse of office. NACAT asks EFCC, ICPC, Wike to probe FCTA director. Delta students stranded as court evicts institute from location. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. And from the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. We have repatriated $687 million from Pan-African operations, says Dangote. NLC, Imo government clash over attack on Ajaero's village. Election litigations should be concluded before inauguration of winners. Tinubu, Akeredolu felicitates Osamawe at 70. Bayelsa youths play attacks on APC members. Okibo, ruling houses battle over royal stool. Idea to leaders promise to deliver from Uzodinma. Idea to leaders promise to deliver from for Uzodinma. The unending saga of Abacha loot recoveries. Pope Francis reiterates call for ceasefire in Gaza. 32,000 migrants arrive in Canary Islands by boat this year. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Police adversary, Yakubu to INEC officials, maintain integrity. Bayelsa capital developmental priority, says Diri. Ibadan Airport reopens for commercial operations. 19 years after, final severance benefits ex-airwaves workers. 19 years after, final severance benefits ex-airwaves workers. Ex-governors in Senate shouldn't collect pensions, says Falana. Nigeria's gas deposits can power transport industries for 97 years, says federal government. A vote of confidence for Akali's NEDC leadership. Ajaero partisan, says Onoshie. Uzodinma assures Abo Mbise Ngokbala people of development. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. From the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to This Day newspaper. Tinubu heads to Saudi Arabia for Arab African Summit. AIG Imokade, Lagos International Financial Center to drive sustainable development, investment in state. Japanese government upbeat about Nigeria's economy, tax federal government on sound economic policies. Agora policy, climate change poses grave risk to Nigeria, deserves greater attention. Where are the savings from subsidy removal? Still on the stories making the headlines on This Day newspaper this morning. NESI at 10. Businesses shutting down over escalating cost of energy, says Dogora. Masters Energy, Oil and Gas commences construction of $500 million gas storage facility. IBA. Operators must ensure access integrity to raise Nigeria's dwindling oil output. Civil rights group questions judicial integrity in Plateau State. Ayo Adebanjo, it's time up for post-1966 coup military constitution. Japanese government, we've taken this. UBA reiterates commitment to connecting Africa's small businesses. VFD Group, a business revolution dream being fulfilled. Tinubu set space for actualizing his government's renewed hope agenda. Can High Court judges stop ridiculing the judiciary? Can High Court judges stop ridiculing the judiciary? Kogi's first female senator humbles Yahaya Bello. Adeleke makes semic shift, unveils 100 billion naira infrastructure signature projects. Digital inclusion, rights, and future of democracy. The man in the arena. Police give gunshots, accident victims hope. From all for an artist's mother and universality. Adebayo Adelabu on snail speed over power sector direction. That's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. From this day newspaper, we'll flip over to Nigerian Tribune. Sanwo-Olu Oyebanji arrive bridge opening event in Lagos. Inspector General of Police orders distribution of vehicles ahead of governorship elections. Lagos seals shopping mall over filthy environment. Orders. ICPC names NDIC over all best ministries, department agencies in ethics, integrity, compliance. Appeal victory. It's time to realign with center. Senator Oba. CBN at 65. Vice President Chetima Kadosu orders to speak at cowrace to cashless launch. Mixed reactions as actress Ekene Umenwa goes on knees, hugs singer Moses Bliss on wedding day. Ajaero, hoteliers raise alarm over blackout in Imo. Commonwealth Secretariat bids Amba Sarafa Tunji Usola farewell. Interparty Advisory Council urges Governor Yusuf to run an inclusive government. Kogi Guba, Fulani community endorses APC candidate Ododo. Governor Bago moves to convert Mena Trade Fair Complex for social use. Nigerian widow's first-hand account for her journey from loss, pain to healing. And that's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona and the 103.5 FM. We will now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you reactions. And from our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. This one is coming from Famous Christian. He's joining us from Ifite Village, Agulu Zibo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message coming from Ndubisi Okafor from Umueze, Umunachi, and he says, if the presidential yacht is delivered before public outcry, it means that we are not in democracy. The president has resorted to do what he likes. This is sign of tyranny. This is coming from Ndubisi Okafor from Umueze, Umunachi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message. This one is coming from the boss from Okozu, and he says, Israeli Gaza war Hamas has have learned their lessons. Now 11,000 eliminated. Upcoming election in Nigeria, let peace lead. The boss. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Mazi Christian Ufondo from Onitsha, and he says, Abia cattle traders insist on living in the market Have you seen it? In a place where such atrocities as the one committed in the market has been found, is where those suspected to be responsible have the mouth to tell people that they must do for them, okay, not to plead for leniency. The cattle dealers feel that people are only making noise. Then he continued and says, Israel gives condition for ceasefire. Yes, I am in full support of what Israelites said, because if they fail to give those conditions, what happened before will repeat itself. He said, if those that want the Israelites to cease fire feel not satisfied with them, then let the fire be open, so that those that want war will fight war and smell like war. What a mess. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mazi Christian Ufondo. Now we have this message. It's coming from Maloto Patrick from Munteje. And it says, I think the forthcoming off-cycle elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states is an opportunity for INEC as an electoral body to redeem her battered image. If not, voter apathy will become the order of the day in subsequent elections in the country. May I also use this opportunity to convey my heartfelt condolences to the families of those persons that were killed by thunder strikes in Okasa local government, and may their souls rest in peace. Let me also advise our youth to desist from playing football or such other activities whenever it is raining, because water is a scientifically proven electricity conductor. Thanks. He's coming from Maloto Patrick from Nteja. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson from 33, and he says, kudos to Dangote as he equips schools with solar power. You should keep up the amazing work. Wike should free Governor Fubara because godfatherism, and he allow him to breathe. Okay, and allow him to breathe. And he says, kudos to Tinubu for intervention into the matter. Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson from 33. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from also Francis Nnamani from Amagunze in Enugu State, and he says, Tinubu should unite we should unite with Atiku and Obi for the progress of Nigeria, says Oba Akiolu. I agree. Mr. President should engage with Atiku and Obi to move Nigeria forward. The overwhelming interest of Nigerians supersedes that of individuals. May God help us. He continued and says, Nigeria's problem not beyond a resolution, says Bishop Kuka. I totally agree with him. Nigeria needs credible, God-fearing, and selfless leaders to address numerous challenges and problems bedeviling this country. May God help us. Also, Francis Nnamane from Amagunze in Enugu State. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It is coming from Valentine Edene from Mumpo, and it says, yes, state government contributed 60%, while federal government contributed 40% for Southeast seats at home and its economic crisis. And he says, for Ajaero, if investigation takes place properly, you will see that someone that is well known is behind the attempt to kill. It's all about greed, jealousy, and not contented. The triggered off killings in this country, Nigeria. Okay, Valentine Edene from Mumpo, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Akide Amoke Onyanabana and Umunachi, and it says, may the soul of those 3 players and also soul of those 23 men that lost their lives on Benue court crisis rest in peace. And he says, killing in Nigeria is too much. And he says, may God intervene. Those men bringing livestock animals want to spoil Abia State governor's policy by saying that they will be sleeping at the Lopanta livestock market. It is coming from Akide Amoke. And he continued and says, the Ajaero brutalization and maltreatment, please let the government help to solve the matter, because that man, Ajaero, is the man we know for NLC for now. He continued and says, what is the need of the yacht? Why many people are dying of hunger? Akide Amoke, Onyanabana Umunashi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Comrade Ibudu from Abagana. And it says, Benue State was so peaceful, but what about today? We hear disgusting news about Benue State every day. Who is the cause of all this? Our leaders, for lack of unemployment and greediness. Some stupid boys are not left with any other choice rather than becoming bad boys. May God come to their rescue, please. Also, he continued, I wonder how the year 2030 would be. We hope for new or change in government, but nothing changes. Once they enter office in Nigerian politics, no backing down. By fire, by thunder, they grow higher. What a bad, corrupt country. And he says, God, please come down and rescue your children. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Comrade Ibudu from Abagana. We have this message. It's coming from Joma from Umpure Naka, and it says, presidential yacht is not our problem. The money should be released. Lagos government selling mall over dirty environment is a welcome development. Joman from Nkwele Naka GRA. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We will now flip over to our SMS portal to bring you more reactions. Now, on our SMS portal, we have this message that says, Mr. President plan to buy over 7 billion naira luxury cars for presidential use and that of office of the First Lady amid hunger and starvation ravaging our over 100 million Nigerian citizens. Okay, and it says, Mr. President is truly justifying the confidence reposed in him by those that voted him. Austin Ezenwaka from Umweze Umunachi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And still on our SMS portal this morning, we have this message that says, this one is coming from Mayor Onyen Jikoka, and he says, Tinubu to attend Arab African Summit. And he says, this summit here and there, is it the best leadership? We don't need this type of summit again. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mayor Onyen Jikoka. We have this message, and he says, over 70 decomposed dead bodies and scores of human skeletons were dumped. I am urging the entire southeastern governors to, as a matter of urgency, begin to have security meetings with all the vigilante groups from various towns across the Igbo land and arm them to the teeth to ensure the safety of our lands. The problem is that our leaders are playing politics with our lives, and that is why these enemies are using it as an opportunity to desecrate our lands. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. This one, there's no name to it, but we have this one that is coming from Iweka Ifanye from Ikengo Gidi, and he says, the very moment we learn not to swear in politicians, and allow election petitions to be completed, that is when we will get it right in Nigeria. Yes, this is the much we can take from our SMS portal this morning. Let's flip over to our Facebook portal to bring you more reactions. From our Facebook portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from Dr. Mrs. Mma Olebara from Owerri, and she says the economic situation of the country is nothing to write home about. A very big embarrassment. Women are really feeling the heat. Men who don't go to market will not appreciate what we pass through to put food on the table. Please don't provoke your wife. This is the time she needs all the support and pampering. A woman's ability to manage effectively the little money her husband gives her makes her a virtuous woman in this recession we are in now. Shalom. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Mrs. Mma Olebara from Owerri. And we have this message. It's coming from Chukuma Onyoka, and it says, okay, thank you. He's joining us from Nimo. Is Christian famous? Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook from Ifte Village at Luzibo. Now let's flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you more reactions. From our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message that says, Governor Oti's resolution to relocate the people that sleep in the market is a good decision. He should maintain that despite the opposition. This is coming from Ndubisi Okafor from Umu as a Umunachi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message that says Labour leaders' brutality is just to shut him up. Paul Imuizu from Onisha. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also have new messages coming in on our SMS portal. Let's bring you more reactions. We have a message from Honorable Onyedeka Osakwe. He says, Uzodinma to hire all the hotels in Imo State is an effort in fertility, as everybody knows that Uzodinma is the cause of all. Okay, your message is not complete, but thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's see if we can get you more reactions on our SMS portal before we begin to call it a day on this particular edition. We have this one that says, okay, it's coming from Chukwudi Okoye from Umuatulu Umweri, Okebo City. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. The bot from Okozo is saying, the box from Okozo says, attack on convoy in Imo. My question is why Nigerian election always violence? The boss from Okozo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And this is the spot where we begin to call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning once it's 7 o'clock. So keep a date. And don't touch the dial of Ebona, the 103.5 FM once it's 8:20. We'll be back with Birthday Splash. Until we meet again, I am Martin. Have a wonderful morning.
Officer mmadụ Suke, ezi Lagos, ezi Abuja, ezi Anambra, tidekwa Enugu na kedu hotel mmadụ ga-anọ dị n'ime eze?
Nwanne ka efe na-adọkasịkwanụ ka introduce you to the Nigerian hotel chain, Residency Hotels. Ịtọcha down na Lagos, ị ga-achụfa na Lagos International Airport Road, or bịa na Lekki Phase 1, or chụọfa na Lekki or